steam clouded the glass of my shower door, droplets sliding down as I caught sight of his silhouette moving closer, my pulse racing uncontrollably. How could a simple Grindr date have escalated to this level of intensity, where boundaries blurred, leaving me breathless and craving more? I felt his warm breath against my neck, the electric touch of his fingertips tracing lines down my spine, and at that moment, I knew this encounter would be unforgettable. It had all started earlier that evening, an ordinary Friday night spent alone scrolling mindlessly through Grindr, searching for a distraction from my monotonous routine. I swiped past endless profiles, faces blending into one another, none catching my attention until suddenly his photo appeared, striking eyes, a disarming smile, and a short bio that simply said, "Looking for something unexpected." Intrigued, I tapped his profile, heart pounding slightly faster, feeling unusually bold as I typed out a quick message. "Hey stranger, what's this? Unexpected something you're looking for." Minutes stretched on like hours as I waited impatiently for his reply, trying not to appear desperate by refreshing the screen repeatedly. Finally, a notification lit up my phone, his response brief yet provocative. "Why don't we find out together?" His confidence was magnetic, pulling me deeper into conversation, each message revealing another tantalizing layer of his personality, witty, sharp, and undeniably attractive. We exchanged banter effortlessly, discussing favorite shows, music preferences, and quirky personal habits, building comfort and trust that felt natural yet excitingly unfamiliar. Despite never meeting him face to face, the ease of our conversation made me feel like we'd known each other forever. Still, nerves fluttered in my stomach as he finally proposed, "How about we continue this conversation in person tonight?" My heart jumped, excitement mingling with apprehension as I quickly weighed the possibilities. Taking a deep breath to steady myself, I typed back confidently, "Sounds like a plan. My place or yours?" The dots indicating his typing appeared immediately, and seconds later he replied, "Yours if you're comfortable. I'll bring the wine." I glanced around my apartment, mentally noting the scattered clothes and half-finished coffee mugs, and responded quickly, "Perfect. See you in an hour." Hey, if you're here and feeling the vibe already, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to support these stories and help more people find them. It means the world, and it keeps us going. Thanks for being here. Time raced as I scrambled to tidy up, anxiety building with each minute that passed, wondering if he would be as captivating in person as he had been through text. As I straightened pillows, lit candles for ambiance, and dimmed lights to create a cozy atmosphere, the anticipation grew unbearable. I barely finished combing my hair when the doorbell rang sharply, echoing loudly through my apartment, jolting me from my frantic preparations. Standing before the door, heart hammering against my chest, I took a final deep breath, smoothed down my shirt, and opened it slowly. His eyes immediately met mine, vibrant and full of curiosity, his lips curling into that irresistible smile I'd admired earlier as he softly greeted me. "Hey, stranger." Feeling a rush of warmth and attraction flood my body, I smiled back, motioning him inside with a playful response, "Glad you could make it." As he stepped inside, brushing casually past me, our shoulders touching briefly, an electric spark shot through my body, signaling that tonight was about to become far more memorable than either of us had planned. The sound of the door closing behind him resonated in the quiet apartment, amplifying the fluttering nerves in my stomach. I watched silently as he moved further inside, his gaze sweeping the dimly lit space, lingering briefly on the cozy ambiance I'd created. Turning back to face me, his eyes sparkled playfully, lips curving upward into a teasing grin that made my pulse quicken. "I brought the wine," he said softly, lifting the bottle slightly, his voice smooth and inviting. As I took the bottle from him, our fingertips brushed gently, sending sparks dancing across my skin, an electric warmth that made me crave another touch. Feeling slightly unsteady, I quickly busied myself in the kitchen, grabbing 2 glasses and pouring the rich, velvety liquid, aware of his eyes following every movement, adding fuel to the simmering tension. We settled side by side on the plush couch, an intimate silence enveloping us for a brief moment before conversation picked up effortlessly again. The chemistry we discovered online intensified rapidly, growing stronger with every word spoken, every lingering glance exchanged. Our thighs brushed lightly, casually at first, but soon becoming intentional, as if neither of us could resist the magnetic pull drawing us closer together. As we talked, I found myself captivated by the way his eyes crinkled at the corners when he laughed, and how his hand occasionally reached out to lightly touch my arm, sending pleasant chills cascading down my spine each time. Every story he shared deepened my intrigue, leaving me hungry for more, wanting to know every detail of his life, his dreams, his secrets. The conversation gradually turned more personal, filled with whispered confessions and quiet admissions about our pasts, desires, and vulnerabilities. His voice lowered seductively as he leaned in slightly, eyes locking onto mine with such intensity it made my breathing shallow and uneven. "I have to admit," he murmured, his voice a velvety whisper, "I wasn't sure what I'd find tonight, but this feels right." Unable to resist any longer, I leaned toward him, closing the small space between us until our faces were mere inches apart, the scent of his cologne intoxicating my senses. "I agree," I whispered back softly, pulse hammering in my ears, adrenaline coursing powerfully through my veins. His eyes darted to my lips momentarily, and without another word, our lips met in a tentative kiss, gentle at first, but quickly deepening into something much more passionate, fueled by longing and desire. His hands slid around my waist, pulling me closer, our bodies pressing together as the kiss intensified, turning breathless and heated. Each touch became bolder, more exploratory, fingertips brushing along my sides, teasing the sensitive skin just above my hips. I wrapped my arms around his neck, fingers tangling in the soft strands of his hair, as our connection grew increasingly fervent, overwhelming my senses completely. Breaking apart for air, he rested his forehead against mine, our breaths mingling as we shared a soft, intimate laugh. "This escalated quickly," he teased gently, eyes twinkling with excitement. I smiled back, heart racing uncontrollably, the anticipation of where the night might lead next, building steadily inside me. Feeling emboldened by our shared intimacy, I took his hand, threading our fingers together tightly, whispering softly, "Come on, let me show you something," guiding him through the apartment toward the bathroom. Excitement surged through me, knowing we were both stepping toward an unforgettable encounter that would soon blur all boundaries. The soft glow of candlelight flickered gently against the bathroom walls as we stepped inside, the steam from my earlier shower still clinging to the mirrors, adding a mysterious ambiance. My heartbeat quickened, realizing how vulnerable yet thrilling this moment had become, knowing that there was no turning back, nor did I want to. I turned slowly toward him, seeing excitement mirrored in his eyes, his lips slightly parted as anticipation lingered between us. He reached out tentatively, brushing the back of his hand against my cheek, fingertips tracing down my jawline slowly, each subtle touch igniting sparks along my skin. "Are you sure you're ready for this?" he asked softly, his voice deep, filled with sincerity and care, giving me the chance to reconsider, even though neither of us truly wanted to pause. I smiled reassuringly, leaning into his touch, my voice steady despite the racing of my pulse. "Absolutely," I whispered confidently, eyes meeting his with unwavering desire. With that confirmation, he stepped closer, pulling me gently against his body, the warmth radiating from him, igniting an intense craving deep within me. Our mouths found each other again, kisses becoming more passionate, filled with unspoken longing and rapidly building urgency. His fingers slipped beneath the hem of my shirt, slowly grazing upward along my spine, leaving goosebumps in their wake. As his touch explored my skin, my own hands began to roam, tracing the strong lines of his back, feeling the muscles beneath his shirt flexing slightly in response to my caress. The slow, deliberate movements were tantalizing, a dance of restraint and anticipation that only heightened our senses further. Slowly, carefully, he peeled my shirt from my body, the fabric hitting the floor softly. His gaze swept appreciatively over me, causing a flush of heat to rush through my veins. Self-consciousness quickly replaced by confidence under his admiring eyes. Moments later, I returned the gesture, unbuttoning his shirt one button at a time, savoring the slow reveal of his toned chest and shoulders, my fingertips trailing gently across his warm skin as I discarded the shirt. Standing there, exposed and vulnerable together, the intimacy intensified, the air between us crackling with palpable electricity. He reached past me, turning the shower faucet back on, the sound of cascading water filling the quiet space, steam beginning to envelop us again, adding another layer of intimacy to our already charged encounter. "Join me?" he whispered invitingly, his eyes reflecting both challenge and vulnerability. Stepping into the warmth of the water together felt almost surreal. Droplets instantly soaking our skin, washing away inhibitions and hesitations. We shared soft laughter, gazes locking, tension momentarily easing into comfortable intimacy. His fingertips trailed water droplets down my chest, tracing lines that sent shivers rippling through my body. My breath quickened once more as his mouth followed, lips brushing softly over sensitive skin, kisses delicate yet intoxicatingly intense. Each caress was deliberate, every touch infused with a blend of affection and desire, driving me closer to the edge of my self-control. I tilted my head back slightly, surrendering willingly as his kisses moved slowly upward along my neck, igniting flames of desire that surged through me powerfully. My hands found their way into his wet hair, pulling him gently closer, encouraging every tender exploration, deepening our bond with every passing second. The water continued pouring steadily over us, washing away the last remnants of restraint. Each shared glance, each lingering kiss, only intensified the yearning building between us both, emotionally and physically. The anticipation became almost unbearable, both of us knowing that we were quickly approaching a point from which there was no turning back. With desire burning fiercely in his eyes, he gently took my face in his hands, locking his gaze firmly onto mine. His voice was raw, filled with vulnerability, yet laced with determination as he murmured softly, I never expected tonight, but I'm glad I found you." In that instant, our connection deepened profoundly, both of us aware that we had crossed from casual flirtation into something far more meaningful. Our hearts and bodies aligned, passion reaching a peak neither of us could have predicted, setting the stage for an unforgettable night still unfolding. His words echoed softly in my ears, resonating deeply as the steam enveloped us, wrapping around our bodies like an intimate embrace. My pulse raced uncontrollably as I gazed into his eyes, seeing sincerity and vulnerability mixed with undeniable longing, a blend that pulled at my heart even more intensely than his touch. I'd expected physical attraction, but this emotional connection was something else entirely. Unexpected, overwhelming, and irresistible. "I feel the same," I whispered truthfully, my voice barely audible above the gentle sound of the cascading water. His smile in response was dazzling, lighting up his face, making my stomach flutter uncontrollably. He leaned in slowly, pressing a tender, lingering kiss onto my lips that spoke volumes, revealing emotions that neither of us had anticipated when we started this evening. Slowly, carefully, he reached out, grabbing the nearby soap, lathering it gently in his hands before placing them softly against my shoulders, spreading warmth and relaxation throughout my tense muscles. His touch was gentle yet confident, kneading softly into my skin, fingertips tracing soothing circles as they moved lower, exploring the curves and contours of my back. Each caress was meticulous, intentional, bringing a level of comfort and intimacy that I had rarely experienced. I closed my eyes briefly, savoring the sensations, allowing myself to trust him fully, letting go of inhibitions. My hands found their way to his chest, fingertips lightly tracing patterns across his skin, feeling his heartbeat quicken at my touch. The room felt as if it were spinning slightly, our connection intensifying with each passing moment, each whispered encouragement and tender gesture deepening the bond forming between us. After rinsing off gently, we stepped carefully out of the shower, wrapping soft towels around our bodies, laughter mingling quietly in the humid air. We dried each other playfully, warmth building steadily again. Affectionate kisses interspersed with teasing comments. He pressed another gentle kiss against my temple, murmuring quietly, "I still can't believe we only just met tonight." "Feels like we've known each other forever," I replied honestly, leaning against him slightly, savoring the comforting warmth radiating from his body. He smiled again, eyes sparkling affectionately, as if he'd been thinking exactly the same thing. Leading him toward my bedroom, heart hammering once more, nerves mixed with anticipation, knowing the night was far from over. Candles flickered softly around the room, casting shadows that danced romantically across the walls. As we settled onto the bed side by side, our fingers intertwined naturally, breathing synchronized quietly in the intimate silence that enveloped us. Our kisses resumed gently, slowly building passion once more, lips exploring softly, hands roaming freely yet respectfully over each other's bodies, discovering sensitive areas that elicited whispered gasps and sighs of pleasure. His fingertips skimmed lightly across my chest, igniting flames of desire that surged powerfully within me. I responded instinctively, mirroring his actions, exploring the warmth of his skin, feeling his breath hitch with every gentle touch. As our intimacy deepened, boundaries between us blurred completely, trust and mutual affection guiding every careful, deliberate movement. His gentle words and caring glances reassured me, making every moment special and meaningful, far beyond what I'd imagined when this night began. Preparation and anticipation filled the room as we moved steadily toward an inevitable closeness, tender whispers and heartfelt smiles assuring each other that everything felt right. Neither of us rushed, savoring the beautiful tension that built steadily between us, each kiss and caress amplifying the connection, bringing us closer emotionally as well as physically. The intimacy felt rare, significant, and precious, something I knew would stay vividly etched in my memory, no matter what tomorrow might bring. Finally, as our breathing grew heavier, I pulled back slightly, meeting his eyes seriously, ensuring we were both ready for the next step. He understood immediately, nodding reassuringly, softly, whispering, "I want this as much as you do." Our gazes locked intensely, trust flowing effortlessly between us, knowing we were stepping into something unforgettable, something neither of us would soon forget. With that final assurance, we surrendered completely, ready to experience everything this night had to offer. As the gentle glow of candlelight cast flickering shadows across our intertwined bodies, the air in the room grew heavier, filled with anticipation and unspoken promises. My heart pounded fiercely, each breath a blend of nervous excitement and deep desire, knowing we were both willingly stepping over the threshold into a new, intimate chapter. Yet, despite the passion and intensity, a comforting sense of safety lingered between us, reassuring and warm. He pulled me closer, enveloping me in his strong arms, the steady rhythm of his heartbeat calming my racing pulse as I nestled against his chest. His fingertips traced gentle circles on my shoulder blades, tender movements that sent tingles rippling down my spine, igniting sparks of longing deep within me. Our lips met again softly, kisses slow and unhurried, savoring each shared moment as if time had paused just for us. Each caress was careful, yet filled with emotion, his hands mapping the contours of my body, fingertips memorizing every sensitive spot they encountered. My own touch mirrored his, exploring with tender curiosity, reveling in the softness of his skin and the warmth radiating from beneath my fingertips. Quiet sighs and whispered encouragements filled the space between kisses, each sound heightening the intimacy that enveloped us like a comforting embrace. As we lost ourselves in these tender exchanges, the sense of vulnerability that once lingered faded completely, replaced by a mutual understanding and trust stronger than I had ever expected to find with someone I'd only just met. This wasn't just physical, it was emotional, profound, and utterly beautiful in its sincerity. Every shared glance, every whispered reassurance deepened our connection, solidifying our bond far beyond the ordinary. Gradually, the intensity built again, our touches growing bolder, fueled by a passion that neither of us could resist. His fingertips traced patterns down my sides, igniting a heat that burned brightly beneath my skin, awakening every nerve ending with exquisite anticipation. Our breathing became shallow and synchronized, pulses racing as the undeniable magnetism between us pulled our bodies ever closer, each touch charged with a powerful yearning. We moved together effortlessly, guided by intuition and desire, preparing each other gently and thoroughly, prolonging the exquisite sensations, taking our time to ensure mutual comfort and enjoyment. Soft whispers filled with reassurance echoed between us, easing away any lingering uncertainty. Every touch, every caress communicated care and genuine affection, intensifying the emotional depth of our experience. At the peak of our shared anticipation, our gazes locked, eyes filled with vulnerability, trust, and a silent confirmation that this moment was exactly right. There was no hesitation, no fear, just an overwhelming sense of rightness, belonging, and genuine connection that went far beyond physical attraction. The culmination of our intimacy unfolded naturally, beautifully, and profoundly, leaving us both breathless and emotionally overwhelmed. Wrapped tightly in each other's embrace afterward, warmth and comfort washed over us, the strength of our connection clearer than ever. Lying quietly together, basking in the warmth and satisfaction that followed, we shared tender kisses and whispered words, reinforcing the emotional depth we discovered. "I didn't think this could ever feel so right," he murmured softly, brushing gentle kisses along my forehead. His words warmed me deeply, affirming everything I'd felt but couldn't articulate. "Neither did I whispered back, tracing gentle fingertips across his chest, feeling safe, cherished, and grateful for every unexpected moment that had led us to this incredible night. As sleep gently overtook us, wrapped securely in each other's arms, I knew without doubt that this encounter was far more than just a fleeting passion. It was a memory we'd both carry forever, a moment that had unexpectedly changed us both. Sunlight gently peeked through the curtains, casting warm rays onto the tangled sheets, softly illuminating our entwined bodies. Waking slowly, I felt his arm draped securely around my waist, his breathing peaceful and steady, sending a comforting warmth deep into my chest. Memories of last night flooded back vividly, bringing an instant smile to my lips and causing my pulse to quicken all over again. Carefully, not wanting to disturb his restful sleep, I turned slightly, studying his relaxed features in the soft morning glow, feeling a surge of tenderness. I hadn't expected such an emotional connection from what began as a simple Grindr match, but now it seemed impossible to deny the intensity of our bond. My mind raced with thoughts, both excitement and uncertainty blending together, wondering if he felt the same unexpected depth of emotion. Lost in these reflections, I suddenly realized his eyes were open, watching me closely, a gentle smile forming slowly on his lips. "Good morning," he murmured, voice thick with sleep yet warm and affectionate, pulling me closer against him. "Morning," I whispered back, heart swelling with emotion, silently hoping that last night meant as much to him as it had to me. The quiet intimacy of the morning lingered, broken only by the distant hum of traffic outside, grounding us gently back into reality. Wrapped together, we spoke softly, cautiously navigating the emotional aftermath of our unforgettable encounter, each tentative question carrying a hidden layer of hope and vulnerability. "Did you think this would happen?" I asked softly, fingers tracing slow circles along his chest, nerves tingling beneath my skin. He smiled warmly, his gaze steady and sincere. "Honestly, no, but I'm glad it did. It felt different, special." Relief washed over me, and I nestled closer, grateful for his honesty. The clarity of our connection deepened, leaving us both quietly contemplating whether fate had played a role, turning an ordinary Grindr date into something unexpectedly meaningful. As morning fully settled in, we reluctantly rose from the comfort of my bed, the world outside gently reminding us that life had continued onward, while we lost ourselves in each other. Yet, even as reality crept back in, something significant had shifted between us, impossible to ignore or diminish. Each lingering glance spoke of a newfound closeness, a mutual understanding forged by an unforgettable night of connection and passion. Over coffee and quiet laughter, we exchanged numbers with genuine smiles, knowing without needing to say it aloud that this was more than a fleeting encounter. The gentle squeeze of his hand as he left assured me our story wasn't ending here. Rather, it was just beginning. Closing the door softly behind him, I leaned against it, heart full, pulse still quickening at the memory of his touch, smile, and the unexpected twist of fate that brought us together. What had begun as a casual Grindr match had evolved into a genuine, meaningful connection, a chance encounter that neither of us would soon forget, and perhaps the start of something truly special.